Hello to my beautiful girlies and welcome to the Growth For Girlies podcast. You have just tapped into a space where mindset meets action, where we shed the old stories, activate our highest self, and step into the life we were always meant to live. But girlies, this is not just another mindset shifting podcast. This is a behavior shifting podcast. Here, we'll not only get into your limiting beliefs, but actually give you the tools and action steps you need to do to overcome and rewrite those beliefs. I'm your host, Alicia Tghlian, mindset coach, behavior consultant with a master's in behavior science. Using this knowledge, I'm going to get you to that exciting yet grounded place of expansion and growth. Each week, we dive into powerful topics that will leave you with that energetic download that you're going to need to get to your next step of alignment. So, take the deepest breath you've taken all day today and allow me to grant you with your weekly dose of growth and expansion. This is Growth for Girlies. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Growth for Girlies podcast. My name is Alicia, and I'm a mindset coach, and I have my master's in behavior science. And in this podcast, we talk all about detaching from limiting beliefs and stepping you into your best self through action-based, evidence-backed strategies. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the power of choosing you and the self-love shift that you need to change everything. To start off, we're going to talk about why you actually struggle to choose yourself. And this is something that is a hard pill to swallow, but honestly comes out a lot for us and is something we need to talk about. First of all, we have to talk about the biological tendency to latch on to others around us. This is so important for us to really hone in on because this is something that really takes us away from ourselves and really has us focus on other people rather than who we are as an individual. And in turn, this has us relying on other people for their energy and relying on others for their validation and our happiness rather than relying on ourselves for these emotions. This is especially prevalent in women because in the past, we had to rely on other people around us and our community in order to keep us safe. And us being safe means that our children will be safe and our genes and DNAs will be passed on. And therefore, that is why we are so dependent and reliant on other people for our happiness and our dopamine levels. Next, our upbringing has a crucial role in how we rely on ourselves and how we see ourselves. So I want you to think about how your parents treated you and spoke to you and spoke about you around you when you were a child. Did they cheer you on when you were having a hard time in school, or were they giving you trouble and telling you you were not smart enough or good enough at school? Similarly, were you playing sports and you weren't that good? What were your teachers and coaches saying to you about yourself? These are really important things to hone in on because these are the things that were instilled into your belief system as a child and have carried over into your belief system as an adult. So it's so important for you to know what was instilled in you as a child and as a teen so you can actually focus and hone in on those belief systems and actually learn to shift them as a result when you're an adult. The next thing that's really important to hone in on are your dreams and your goals and your aspirations. And you might be thinking, why is it so important and why would I bring this up every single time I talk about ourselves and our dreams? This is because when you are focusing on what you actually need to be doing in this life, focusing on the mission that you came here to have and came here to do, then you will feel fulfilled and you will not be relying on other people for your happiness. Your mental space will no longer need others to feel fulfilled, and you will not be chasing dopamine in other people that may not be able to provide it for you and other situations that may not be able to provide it for you. So that's why it's important to know why you need to choose yourself and why you need to take that next step to actually focus on who you are as a person. Now we're going to talk about what self-love actually looks like for you and actually looks like for every single individual. It's so crucial and important to know what you actually care about in this life and what goals you have in this lifetime. So even if you're at a 9-to-5 that you hate, or even if you're doing something that you don't enjoy in your life, it's important to know where you want to be and what you want to do with this life of yours. Because the fact that you are human and you are here in this lifetime is a true blessing, and not every single person will actually have the opportunities that you have in this life, especially the fact that you're able to listen to a podcast like this. That's why it's important to remember how grateful you are for this moment, how grateful you are to actually be able to listen to a podcast like this, to be able to actually follow dreams that you have, and in turn to actually reclaim your energy and take the energy towards things that you actually want to be doing and your dreams and goals in life. Next, I'm going to really encourage you to hone in on daily practices and rituals that keep you anchored and secure. So it's crucial to remain grounded whenever you're going through a transition like this, especially if you're going from something that you really dislike to something that you're really scared of. So having practices like daily gratitude, affirmations, even just doing things as simple as having a vision board are going to really help you keep your eye on the prize and remember why you are here and what you are doing these things for. because it can get very scary to actually take a leap and actually start focusing on a goal that you've never focused on before, because it's scary to do something that you've never done before. Even think about the first time you've ever stepped into a gym, if you've ever done that. That is the scariest moment ever, because you feel like everyone is staring at you and everybody is judging your form. Or think about the first time you attended a college or university lecture. That is one of the most terrifying things to have accomplished, because the other people around you feel like are smarter than you, and maybe even imposter syndrome might have kicked in. So that's why it's important to always have things like visuals, like affirmations, gratitude, and visual schedules, to actually have things around you that you can see and tune into whenever you are feeling these feelings of imposter syndrome. Finally, I really, really urge you to hone in on your values in life. And if you don't know what your values are, that is okay. This is very normal and very common. But your values are what you actually care about and what actually fuels you as an individual in life. So if you really value freedom, health, authenticity, you really value connection, stability, family, these are things that you have to focus on every single day to stay grounded and stable as an individual. Plus, these are things that are going to raise your self-concept, raise your relationship with yourself, make you feel happier and more secure. And in turn, these are actually going to help you become your best self and step into the version of yourself that you were once scared to be. So these are things that are really important to get your confidence in check, your self-love in check, and to actually get you to be the person that you've once dreamt of being. Finally, you're going to become the woman that always chooses herself. But you might be wondering, how do I become this woman? How do I become her? How do I know what she needs to be and look like, and what does she do every day? These are the things that you actually have to think about and sketch out. So what does she look like? What does she do in the mornings? What does her morning routine look like? Does she go to the gym? Does she stay at home all day? Does she go to yoga? What are the things that this girl is doing every single day? How does she act? How does she speak? How does she direct people? Okay, what does she do? Does she run a business? Does she work a 9 to 5? Does she go to school? Does she have a degree? Does she not do that? Okay, these are the things you really need to hone in on, of what your dream self is actually accomplished and doing every day. And then by doing this is actually an act that is called remembering your future. And this is so important because our future is determined by our current reality. Okay, the thoughts that you have now are the thoughts that are creating your future self. So when you remember your future and you remember who you're supposed to be in the future, then in reality, in turn, that person is going to have no choice but to come to you and become who you are. But if you don't engage in acts like this, then there's no chance that you'll become this person, because you won't even have known what they will become and who they will be. Next, this one is super, super, super important. Even if you've done everything I've said in this video so far and you completely have done them all the way to the end, but if you only done them once and you do not repeat them and you don't focus on them every single day, then nothing is going to happen for you. That's why repetition is the most important thing you could take away from this video. Even if you choose one thing a day, then this is going to significantly impact your life as long as you continue to repeat it all the time. Because just think about back to when your parents were talking to you or when your teachers were talking to you, okay? The thoughts that you heard from them and the thoughts that you were taught are things that you heard constantly, okay? These were repeated to you until they became your beliefs. So just like that, you want things to be repeated to yourself so those things become your own belief systems. Finally, it's time to celebrate the detachment that you have done from your old self. You have to celebrate the wins that you have in your life, okay? You have to celebrate everything that you've accomplished, because if you don't do this, then you will see no results and no growth in your life. If you don't focus on your wins, then these are the things that are not actually going to be occurring for you in the day-to-day, okay? What you focus on, where your attention goes, is where energy flows. So when you focus on your wins and focus on, the goals that you've had that once were a reality and once never actually occurred for you, then you are going to become the most magnetic version of yourself. You are actually going to be able to achieve your dream life and your dream mission, because you are actually allowing these things to happen for you. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. That is what I have for you for choosing yourself and your self-love journey. And if you like this episode, feel free to review it down below. It's going to help me so, so, so much. And feel free to follow me on socials at Growth for Girlies on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Until next time, I cannot wait to talk to you guys later, and I'll see you soon. Bye.